you ain't taking that on. They be like, I will do it for free. I will do it for free. It's okay.
So I'm from Tobago, guys. I'm currently based in Florida. Hopefully, when COVID is over and the borders are reopened, I'll be back home so we could start something. And my IG handle is AziJo7. So be sure to follow me because I post videos every day, my workout videos. So let's go. All right. So
Okay.
on tonight's episode, we're gonna be discussing. We're gonna be having a joint conversation between Nutrition Nugget and Dryland Dimensions, as we both know they both go hand in hand. So my first question to you is, how does nutrition affect sport performance?
All right. So, hi. Um, Nutrition and performance go hand in hand because if you're not eating right, you're not going to perform right, right? And that means that your diet needs to be tailored to whatever your sport is and whatever your sport needs are. Generally, high performance athletes need to be consuming a much more carbohydrate rich diet than someone who is more focusing on just changing body composition, um, or you know, it does depend based on the sport. But the bottom line is you need to have a well balanced diet, um, a well balanced set of micronutrient rich foods in your diet to perform optimally.
Okay. And as you mentioned, like having carbohydrates in your diet and having a higher percentage, a lot of these diets, like these fad diets now with saying low carbs and high protein, what are your thoughts on that for athletes?
So again, if you are a high performing athlete, for example, and that is if you're looking at swimmers, who would be in the more aerobic range of training, you'd want to have these athletes consuming at least 45 to 65% carbohydrates in their total diet. Protein would make up between 20 to 30%, and fats generally stay constant at 25%, based on the individual. If you are a heavier individual in a sport that is less aerobic than swimming, or if you are into like powerlifting or bodybuilding, those figures and percentages will change based on the needs of the athlete. But if we are speaking about athletes who are, let's say, swimmers, we're going to be wanting a much higher carbohydrate diet than one of someone who's just looking for high intensity output for a short period in time.
Okay. So, following a training session, what are some things that athletes should consider with regard to their nutritional intake?
The So you're looking at pre-workout meals and post-workout meals and intra-workout meals, right?
Yeah.
So pre-workout meals, you want to have those meals that are, again, high in carbohydrates. So you're going to use that for energy to fuel your workout. Intra-workout, you're looking at replacing fluids being lost, electrolytes being lost, and intra-workout will also be carbohydrates or sugars for the most part, because you want those to just come back quickly, as you would be sweating a lot, training hard. And then post workout meals, even though it is post workout, you still need to have carbohydrates in the meal after you train, because you would need to replenish the glycogen stores that you may have burned out if you were training for like 2-3 hours, doing a marathon session. It's not that protein is not important, but if you are, again, an aerobic athlete, your priority here is going to be a much higher carbohydrate percentage in your diet than the average athlete.
Okay. So, in with regards to having a high carbohydrate diet, how much is enough? Like, what would be enough for an athlete post training for recovery?
So it is a kind of difficult question to answer because it is still per individual. So someone who is weighing 120 pounds is obviously not going to be consuming the same amount of carbs as someone who is 200 pounds, given that they're in the same sport, right? But like I said in the beginning, you want your diet to be let's say 45-60% carbohydrates, 30% protein, and 25% fat generally. How you break that up is then down to the individual and the coach. Um, Generally, you want to concentrate carbohydrates around your workout, so pre and post. So a decent meal after you finish a very long session in the pool would be, let's say, a chicken breast or some beef with sweet potato or even rice and some vegetables. That is fine. Alternatively, you can have a protein shake after you finish training. Nothing is wrong with that. But within this shake, you need to put carbohydrates in there too, because you would have used up a lot of energy training in the pool and going for 2-3 hours. So you have to replenish those stores that were used up in that session.
Okay. So sticking with aquatic sports, and let's compare, let's say, a sprinter versus like a open water athlete.
Mhm.
How would their nutrition then differ, or does it at all?
It it would differ um, a little bit because you're looking at the two athletes are using different muscle groups, muscle types. Sorry, one is using a lot more fast twitch fibers, sprinter, and one if they're doing a marathon session or a long open course or like um, open custom, they're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be using that much fast twitch fibers. They're going to be using a lot more storage fibers and that'll be more aerobic. Now,
Mm-hmm.
a sprinter, you are looking for maximum output short period in time. So you're also going to look at, you want to have on that athlete a lot more muscle mass to perform that explosive movement. So in a sprinter's diet may be a touch more protein rich than that of a distance runner. You understand?
Okay.
Because you're looking at a sprinter is not only training for just sprinting, but he has to have a lot more muscle mass. So, you know, there would be, yeah, there would be two different systems in work. There is one that is the creatine phosphate system, and the other one that is just aerobic respiration, which is a lot more science that I want to get into right now. But yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
I second that
a lot
one.
of science. There's a lot. You have that much time to get to those things. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but that'll be the difference between those two individuals. The
Okay.
system that is different. One is looking at energy now and as much as, so that requires the use of the creatine power system, where you're looking at ATP now, ATP now, and the other one is looking at burning through carbohydrate, burning through glycogen a lot more slow over time because you want to keep having energy to go for 2 hours and 3 hours and that kind of stuff. So the distance person would have to be eating a lot more carbohydrates than, for example, a sprinter.
Okay. And last question, what tips would you leave for athletes and coaches regarding nutrition and diet and stuff like that?
Just eat. You need to eat. When you need to eat. Like that's the bottom line. You need to eat, and you need
Yeah.
to ensure that you are having a well balanced diet, right?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, you're a performance athlete. You need to be eating a lot of carbohydrates. Your protein should be 30% of your diet. Fat should be fairly constant. You need to also get your micronutrients in there for just good immune health, good just to be healthy. You need to have all those things. So, but the bottom line is you need to be eating if you want to perform. If you have a car and you don't put gas in the car doesn't go.
True.
Similarly, you are not
True.
input sufficient calories, you're not going to perform optimally.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much
Welcome.
for the information. It was very informative and helpful. I hope the athletes and coaches and parents are listening. All right. So make sure that you all eat before and after training. And carbs are not bad. Okay. Your body need carbs.
The best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the best thing ever. It tastes
I,
so good.
have you had ice cream? Best thing ever.
All right. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at AziJo7. Do you want to shout out your Instagram
Yeah,
page?
so you can follow me on Instagram at rebuilder_strong. Yeah, and I post
Nice.
there.
So thank you so much, guys. Up next, we have Jace Justice. And be sure to stay tuned because we have George Bavelli III coming up. So, bye, everybody.